মানে আমারও ইয়ে তো মানে কত বলতে হবে
Okay. Once again, I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of Orissa Follow-up Organization. I'm really happy to see all the new participants along with our honorable guest speaker. She's with us. And before going to take our session, I would like to share about her profile before you so that you would come to know about her profile. Romana Jaffrey, OS, she is currently serving as Block Development Officer, Government of Odisha, in Rampur in Kalahandi district. Regarding her previous professional experience, she has qualified UGC NET in psychology twice and holds more than 5 years of experience in teaching general psychology to undergraduate and postgraduate students, and about 4 years of experience in counseling to children who are victims of human trafficking and other issues. So really, ma'am, we are so glad to have you with us, and all the participants, those who have joined with us, especially our new participant. And I would like to thank Director of Orissa Follow-up Organization and Assistant Director of Orissa Follow-up. They have also joined with us. Thanks a lot. So over to ma'am. May I request ma'am to start the session?
Yes, sir. Am I visible?
No, ma'am. I think your video
One
is
moment.
on. It's visible, ma'am.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay. Yes.
Yeah, I mean the setting is really bad because it's a
Okay.
holiday and I'm doing it from the office.
Okay.
It looks a little disheveled, but I think we can continue.
Okay.
Yes.
I would request all other participants kindly mute your microphone so that you can listen to our today's guest speaker properly without having any noise and distraction. Kindly bear with us.
Okay, so good evening, everybody, and a warm namaskar to everyone. Uh, Today, our topic is about stress management, and we have always heard about stress and how to manage it and stuff. But today, what I want to bring to you is mostly a new perspective of looking at it. So that is why I have chosen a very common topic, but I just want to have a very new perspective about it. So as sir has already introduced me, I would not take any time and again get into the introduction. Rather, I would like to thank sir and Odisha Follow-up Organization for giving me a chance to present before you one of the most talked about topic. So I have already shared a presentation with sir. I would just request him to kindly, quickly, we'll just go through the presentation now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, is the presentation visible to everybody?
I would request,
Sir, I think, yes.
yeah,
Uh, so what we can do is,
yeah,
we can just ask everybody if they are able to see the presentation or not.
yeah, yeah. Dear participant,
Kindly respond.
yeah, dear participant, is it visible?
Yes, ma'am, visible.
It's visible. Okay, okay, okay. If you have any difficulties, then kindly text write in chat box so that we can do something from here. If it is visible, then you just show your thumbs up like that, like this.
Yes, so
Yeah, it's visible, madam. Yes, visible.
yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 says the sound is not clear. Is it clear now?
Yeah, it's clear for me.
You can just unmute and speak.
It's clear.
It's clear.
Okay, thank you. So great, we'll start now. So before we move into the presentation, I would like to ask the audience a few questions. First, I would like to ask, what do you understand by stress? I mean, the photo here that I have put, I think that is self-explanatory, but I would want to know, what do you understand about stress? So if there's anybody who wants to answer, they can just answer in the chat box or just unmute and say. Yes, anybody wants to contribute? What do you understand by stress? So Amod sir can also try. You can also talk about stress,
Yes,
sir. What do you
stress.
understand by stress?
Stress means, according to my understanding, giving extra uh, headache to our brain, which is unwanted.
Okay,
We can
good.
say, which is unwanted,
Yes,
overthinking.
yes, okay. That's great. So Gaurav has replied that it is something that can't be managed, and
Mhm.
Mohit says the burden which we are carrying. Okay, it's very close. Even what Sir told is very close. Now, if we go into the meaning or to the definition, what APA, American Psychological Association, has given, this meaning of stress is a situation or an event for which the body or we ourselves do not have the resources at the present to cope up with. So, what that would mean is, stress can be any situation where we are not at present equipped with resources to fight with it. So, we can go to the next slide where I have talked about it. So, next slide, please, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what stress involves, changes in our body, in our thinking, the way we feel and behave. So basically, it is running out of resources to deal with the situation. Now, there is a word here, eustress and distress. Kindly excuse the spelling of distress is wrong. I mean, I just typed it by mistake that way. So eustress is something that is a positive aspect of the stress. Now, many a times you see little bit of stress is required to perform well, like uh, the amount of stress before um, a half yearly exam will always be little less than the final exam. So the amount of stress is also required. And you stresses sometimes when you are procrastinating, that I'll do the work tomorrow, day after, maybe after that. And
Mhm.
if somebody gives you a little stress, let's do it. Otherwise, you are going to suffer or something like that, or maybe do it and you will be rewarded. Suddenly you get into the mode and you do it. So that is you stress. That is a positive aspect of the stress. And that is what we basically need in our life to move ahead. But our mind has been conditioned, or our mind thinks that stress always has to be negative. So that is why we move to the next picture, which says that there is no definition of stress that everyone agrees on. For every person, it may differ. What may be very stressful for me may not be very stressful for you. Like, let me give you an example. Right now, when I am talking to you and presenting this before you, I might not feel very stressful. But for some people, this public speaking is very stressful. Even if you tell them to speak, stand up and speak before family members, they feel very jittery.
Yes.
So for them, even just facing people is so stressful. And for some, public speaking is a passion, is a profession. So again, stress differs from person to person. So now we can go to the next slide. Yes, so going to the chat we had, Sunil Tiwari has talked about stress as the comparison between your thinking and others' expectations. Well, that's a very good point. We are going to come to that in the subsequent slide. And what is the difference between stress and depression? We'll take that up after the presentation is over in the question session round. So let me just tell you, the first few slides of the presentation are very general things that we all know, like what are the basic stressors of life. So everybody knows a death, divorce, even marriage for somebody, retirement, getting a new job or being fired from job, death of a close friend, all these very common things. These are stressors in life. And again, the stress level, they move through three stages. One is positive, that is eustress that I told. But if eustress is stressed too much, that becomes tolerable at one point, and then it becomes intolerable and toxic at the final stage. Now, there's a very nice quote I got about stress that I have put, that worry is like a rocking chair. It gives
Yes.
you something to do, but never gets you anywhere, which means if you are stressful, you do a lot of thinking, probably overthinking, but that thinking does not lead you anywhere. It actually makes you more and more vulnerable, and it makes you more, you can say, more stressful. So that is what I like that quote. That's why I have put. We'll move to the next slide. Yes, sir, please. Yes. So now let's just look at the causes of stress. I think everybody will relate to this. Maybe the percentage of stress would be different according to the person and the situation. Now, a majority of it is about job. I think most of us would relate to that. Once we have graduated from college, from university, we are looking for a job, we are looking for some engagement in life, then marriage, relationships, career, then family expectations, academics, parenting, and then others. In others, we would get things like not keeping in touch with friends, or maybe trying to pursue some hobby or some activity, but not getting the time to do it. Or maybe, like breaking up with people in your place, or anything like that. So that comes in others. So these are causes of stress in general life. Now we'll go to causes of stress in the workplace. So we can go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Yes. So we'll just quickly glance through the stress at workplace. So I think this, many of us are very, like we can relate to it. Occupational demand. Some of our jobs may require us to stay even beyond our working hours. Rotating work shifts, like in you can say BPOs and other such places where people work in different time zones. Then role ambiguity. Some people, they are in a position, but they do not know what is their role in the organization. Sometimes they are told to do many things, and sometimes they will just be sitting idle. Role conflict, work overload, interpersonal conflict. You are not getting along with your colleague, you are not getting along with your boss, you are not liking the place at all. Then organizational changes. Let's say you are in one department and then suddenly they change you to another department. That is again one issue. And working conditions. So is there anything we can add to it? Is there anybody who wants to add to this stress at workplace? What more reasons can be there for stress at workplace? Can anyone add to it anything?
Harassment for women, sexual harassment, that can be
Absolutely,
also,
absolutely, sir.
yeah.
Very good, sir. Yes, that is one.
ମାମୁଁ ଏଇନୁ ପଳେଇବ ଆସିବୁ ଯଦି କହ
Yes, please a little louder, please.
କୁଆଯିବୁ ଆସିଲେ 2 ଦିନ ରହିବୁ ତାପରେ
Yes, then there is one more thing. I think that is also, as sir mentioned, harassment of workplace. Then there is one more reason which leads to stress is many a times while you are working at the project, at the mid you are replaced. I think that is also a very big stressful thing because you have already prepared for something, but then you are being removed from it. Yes, language problem. Sunil Tiwari has told language problem. Yes, definitely that's a very big stressor if you can't understand the language, if you are not very aware of the culture. I would like to tell my experience while I am working in a tribal dominated place. Many a times the schemes of the government are in conflict with the traditional belief and culture of the people here. So yes, what we could have started absolutely early, that takes a little longer. Mohit, yes, fear of losing job, absolutely. Fear of losing job is a major stress at workplace. Yes. Okay, so we'll now next go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Communication. Yes, yes, obviously. Okay, so now this is something which everybody knows, and but I have just put it so that we just need to refresh what stress does to us. So you can know we'll have mood swings, we have heart issues, we have joint pain, our immunity is compromised, then there is hair loss. Some people also may have pimples, acne, and all sort of psychosomatic symptoms develop. What do I mean by psychosomatic is here that somatic means body and psycho means mental. So due to your mental conditions, those things reflect or manifest in your body. So many a times you would have seen that if you are very stressed, the first thing that happens to you is your stomach will get upset. So that is a psychosomatic symptom. So similarly, you can have hair loss, you can have skin acne, you can have skin problems, and all of that. Okay. So okay, now this is a very common thing. I don't think we need to add anything to it. We'll just move to next slide. So these are actually the psychological effects of stress. As I told, mood swings, irritability, low self-esteem. You do not want to go out and meet people. Have lack of interest in activities. Your memory starts failing. You have anxiety. You have panic attacks, and you feel very isolated. You don't want to talk to anybody. You always feel very hopeless that there is nothing that you can control or you can change. So these are some of the psychological effects. Now, so we can go to the next.
Yeah.
Yes. So now these are the very common methods of managing stress. If you tell anybody that I'm going through a lot of stress, what do I do? I think these are basically the things which people will tell you, that go for therapy, go to a doctor, or go to a spa, uh, do some exercise, pick up a hobby, meditate, spend time with nature, go on a vacation, listen to music, manage time, do some yoga. Yes, these are very common ones. But as we move in the slide, I'll tell you that these things are the result of certain things that we need to do. Now, it is exactly like people will tell you to read a book, but they will not teach you how to read. So, that is where the entire issue is. People will actually, like even in our we need to mute, I think. Yes. So, okay. So that's what I told, that in school also. Yeah. Is it audible now?
Yeah, it's audible. Wait a minute.
Can you mute everybody?
Yes, someone has. Okay, just a minute. Ah,
Okay.
it's
So
a.
what I mean, yes, fine. What I mean is, as we go into the subsequent slides, the things that are suggested here are relevant only when we try to change or we try to make a shift in our thought process. I mean, if you are already feeling very irritable about something, then even taking up a new hobby will not improve that. First, you have to control your situation, or first, you have to tame your mindset. That's what I want to say. Like, suppose, let's say I'm feeling very stressed, I'm listening to music, but I'm still not enjoying it. So,
Mhm.
what I want to tell you is that um, back many years before, I was doing a course where the course name was How to Know How to Study.
Mhm.
So every time in our school also, teachers will tell us that you need to study this chapter, you need to read this book or whatever. But they don't tell us the technique of study. So now what I want to tell is we have 100 ways of managing stress. But if we know just 10 to maybe 5 to 10 things that we need to change in our inner self, all the ways then will make sense, which I'm going to tell you later in the slides. So we can next go to the next slide, sir.
Yes.
Yes, so that what we talked was managing stress in a healthy way. Now, this was managing stress in an unhealthy way. What it is, you start procrastinating or delaying things, you overeat or undereat, you start drinking, maybe
Mhm.
socially, even individually. You start watching television, Netflix, and all of that, and you totally get engrossed in it. You do not pay any attention to anything else, and then you stay away from people, you avoid problems, you sleep a lot or you sleep less, you get into smoking, alcohol, drugs, and sometimes you have very, very loud outburst, you get into physical fights, you get into violence. These are the unhealthy ways of coping with stress, right? Now there is again a difference. Many people, when they get very stressed, they join a gym or they exercise. Now that is healthy, but getting into physical violence, etc., is unhealthy. So we need to understand the difference. So here till now, whatever I told you was the very common things that we know about stress. Now what I'm going to tell you is how we can be self-dependent on ourselves, take control of our lives, and change how stress affects us. So we can go to the next slide, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. So actually, what we actually miss out while talking about stress or thinking about stress is that stress is a reaction to a problem. Stress is not the problem in itself. Now, let's say, suppose I have a relative and I do not want to go to their house, but somehow my parents are forcing me that I have to go. Now, the relatives are not the problem. The problem is my reaction to going to their place.
Mhm.
Now, what if I just search in the internet and I just find that just 2 kilometers away from where my relatives stay, there's a very beautiful tourist spot. Now, if I change my thought of going to their place, being there for 1 hour, then leave for the tourist spot, I think I'll be very less stressed about it. But if I just keep thinking, no, today I have to go, I have to spend the whole day, then I will really feel very stressed. So now, reaction is very important, and mapping that reaction is very important. We have a very nice theory about it in psychology that is known as learned helplessness. Now, let me explain the experiment to you. You might just see a dog. You just on your right hand side, there's a dog. There's a small experiment to this. What happened first, they had a chamber like this where there's a partition in the middle. On one side, I mean one side of the partition, there was the dog, and the dog was, like, very small that time. So what they did is they gave it an electric shock. Now the
Mhm.
dog, there was an opportunity of the dog to jump to the other side where the dog would not get the shock. Maybe you can just imagine it is made of wood or something, and the other thing is made of, let's say, something that catches shock. Okay, I mean that way. So after when the dog started jumping to the other side, it realized that I'm very small to jump. I cannot jump. it is in my destiny to, receive this shock. But after some days, when the dog actually grew up and still they gave him shock, now the dog was big enough to jump to the other side. But the dog has thought it in its mind that I'm so weak that even if I try, I cannot jump to the other side and I cannot escape my negative situation. So what happens is that dog stays in that situation. It is also a similar thing that happens in circus. If you have seen, there are elephants and their legs are tied with iron chains when they are small. So even if they try, they cannot break that chain away. But when they grow big and they're capable of breaking it away, they'll still not break, because that is what is there in their mind, that I'm not strong enough to break those chains. And that is also what happens to us. When we feel that this is a stressful situation, now many people, even when we were discussing, I think Mohit mentioned losing job is stressful. Now for many people, if you can just change your mindset and think, losing job and trying to do something that I like, if you think it that way, then probably it will not be that stressful. But then what we think that no, losing job is stressful for everybody, so it is also stressful for me. So learned helplessness is basically a situation where we ourselves get stuck because we think we do not have the resources, or we have not gained the expertise enough to move to the next step, and where the options are available to move. So if anybody wants to write or say something about learned helplessness here, we can just have a little view on it. Okay, we can move to the next slide. If somebody is talking about learned helplessness, we'll also merge it there.
Okay, shall I go to another slide? Next slide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Next is share what you are going through. Now, this is very important. Many a times, we think that if we are not sharing something, it is safe with us and it is better. But we do not know that many a times when we share the things, it is actually less stressful. Now, let me give you an example. I had this webinar at 6 o'clock, and till 6:55, I did not have a laptop where I could connect. So even I was very stressed.
Okay.
So what happened is, instead of figuring out what I should do, what I did is I started talking to all my staff who are present today on a Saturday at my workplace, and 3-4 volunteered themselves, said, okay, ma'am, we'll come and we'll get this connected. This is not a very tough job. Now, if I shared with them, after I shared with them what was the problem, I could actually get through. So similarly, many a times we need to share it, because if we share it, what could mean a lot more to you, it would be something very less for somebody else. And that way you would see a perspective. Now let me talk about something known as psychobabble. That's a very good concept. It is used abroad. I don't think in India it is used that much. Psychobabble is where people who are very stressed, they would go to a clinic. There would be somebody, a person, let's say, and they would just talk to the person, and the other person's job is just to listen to the person, not give any opinion, not be judgmental, not give you any direction or anything, but just listen to you. And these sessions are actually paid sessions, like say 1,000 rupees an hour or 1,500 rupees an hour. So the only thing why this is very famous in the West or in the other countries is because people understand the value of sharing and talking, which we do not have understood. We are yet to understand it here. So that is one thing: psychobabbling, or at least talking, or trying to share your feelings with the others. Okay. Now next one.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, third thing is changing one's mindset, because it is better to be known as a survivor than a victim. So now every morning when you wake up, you have a choice of um, being in the same state, feeling really miserable, feeling very grumpy, and feeling very sad, or you have a choice of trying to be in a good mood, trying to be in a positive mindset, trying to harbor positive thoughts. So it is always your choice. But the point is, we are so stressed, we do not understand that this choice is available with us. So if anything happens, just remember, the day you are stressed, that day also the day is of 24 hours. The day you are happy, that day also the day is of 24 hours. So physically, nothing is changing. It is only our mindset that is changing. And everything is in the mind. If our mind can guide us, our mind can make us, then our mind can break us also. So we have to understand the power of the mind and how changing our mindset can be helpful for us. Um, what do other people think about this? So kindly tell me, what do you think? How powerful is the mind? Please write in so that we know. Just take 1 minute, think about it, and just write it. Okay, very correct. Yes, that's a very good point actually. People think not stressed means not sincere. Absolutely. Yes. I remember something. I remember one of my acquaintances once told me that it is very difficult to go on a pilgrimage or a Tirth Yatra, because in Tirth Yatra, every yes, mind is our boss who follows us. That's right. Dr. Salma has mentioned that's true. Now, the person told me that every Tirth Yatra is very difficult because you have to give in a lot of effort, because only then God will know that you are a true disciple. So similarly, that brings me to Akshay's point that if you are not stressed, people don't think you are sincere. Good one. That's a nice one, Akshay. Sunil Tiwari writes, mind can do anything, yes, but management of mind is very important. Thank you, yes. It makes 95% power, right? So since so many people are interested in the mind, so sir, Amod sir, I will take 1 minute and
Yeah,
share
yeah.
a very good story.
Yeah, please.
I think that way people will understand that, yes. So there was a organization, there was an office where um, everything was running smooth. People were doing their job well. The office was doing
ज्यादा
real
दिखाना
good
है
work.
मम्मी मुझे ये
Yes. So now what happened is everything was going on smooth, but then they shifted to another office. And after shifting to that office, um, productivity suddenly fell. People were no more productive. People were not doing their work well. Now the boss started questioning them. Why are you not working? Earlier you were the same employees, organization was the same, everything was same. There you used to work so well. What has suddenly happened? And they started finding out answers, but none of the answers were satisfactory. So they were just looking for somebody who could help them. And then after 2 3 days, a person turns up and he tells that I can help. If I'm given a chance, I can help find the solution to this problem. So the boss told, okay, fine, carry on. So what he did is he conducted a study for 7 days. And after 7 days, um, he did something, which I will tell you. He did something, and again the productivity came up. So after about a month, the boss called him, the person, and asked, "What did you do that the productivity returned? Earlier, it was the same office, same people. You haven't changed anything. You haven't changed any employee. You haven't changed any working conditions. What has improved?" Then the person told, "What I did is um, I talked to people and I asked, why is it what is it that you do not like about this place?" And they told that ever since we have been shifted to the new office, which is an underground office, we feel very suffocated. We always feel there is no ventilation, and that is why some we feel very low. So what this person did is he took a piece of paper, and in front of every AC point or every cooler point, he put that paper there. So every time the paper used to keep fluttering, and the mindset of the people now, they felt that yes, there is a ventilation because the air is moving and the things are fluttering. And again, the productivity came back. So just a change in the mindset or just
Right.
a change in how you look at things can bring a lot of change. It's the same office. It's the same ventilation. It's the same ways of ventilation or means of ventilation. Only the way you have looked at it has changed, and therefore the entire scenario has changed. Okay, so now we can go to the next slide. Yes. So now there are two words here. I would like everybody to participate: respond and react. Please tell me what is the difference between respond and react in the chat box. And once we have received any one message, we'll go forward with this. What is the difference between respond and react? React is the result of response. Okay, good. That's nice. Respond in a positive way and react is maybe angrily or in a negative energy. Okay, that's nice. The response is all about a subconscious mind. Okay. Reaction might be without thinking, respond may be planned. Okay. Fine, great answers, by the way, thank you. Let me just tell you, very layman understanding of respond and react is something which is involuntarily or unplanned. You see something and you react. It is a very autonomic response, you can say. Like, let's say you touched something which is very hot and suddenly you react. That is suddenly, like you just take back your hand, that is react. Respond is, you have just removed the vessel from the fire pot. For sure, it will be hot. Instead of touching it, you find something to hold it. That is a respond. So as somebody told, respond is planned. Respond is reacting, being in control. Reacting is acting without control. That is what is the basic difference. So we are many a time stressed because we react before responding. If it is the other way around, first if we respond and then we react, I think it would be much better. Like, for example, if you know that you are let's say somebody is moving out to another place. Let's say somebody is working in Odisha and will move to South. Now, many people I know, without being offensive to any culture, many people have little issues with the food once they move from one place to other. So instead of reacting and being very resistant that I should not go to this new place, it is always better to learn few dishes before you move out. So that when you are in that place, you can cook for your own, be self-dependent, and also taste new things and develop a taste for that area, for the food of that area, basically. So respond before you react and let go of what is beyond your control. So many a times we know few things are not in our control, but we are hell bent that this should go my way, this should go the way I have planned. And that also leads to a lot of stress. Exactly what Sunil told, that it is due to our expectations, we feel very let down. So again, I think I liked these two quotes a lot.
Right.
I refuse to stress myself out because I cannot control or change. And not responding is also a response. Many a times, when there are people who are pressurizing you to give a response, you can just choose to remain silent and not get into a stressful situation. Many a times, especially it happens with friends, the friends become two groups and they want you to support one group. So basically, if you are following a policy of non-alignment and not at all being a party to anyone, I think that will save you from being into a stressful situation. So again, not responding is also a response, and we should always remember that it is not necessary to reply to every social media post. It is not necessary to reply to everybody who's abusing you or trolling you or anything. Sometimes not responding at all is a much peaceful solution than responding and being in a stressful situation. So that's it. So next we'll move to another slide. Next slide. Yes. So now there's a very nice story here. Analyze what's breaking you and what's building you. Now there was a teacher who walked into a classroom. She had a glass of water with her, and she told somebody that you hold this glass of water. And she asked, "Is this heavy?" So the child told, "No, it is not heavy." Then she told, "Okay, you hold it for some more time." She kept on increasing the time limit. And then after about an hour, she asked, "Do you feel tired about it? Or is it heavy?" So now the student told, "Yes, now I'm feeling that it is heavy and I'm feeling tired." See, the water or the glass in itself were not heavy. But the longer we are holding it, or the longer we are trying to be in that situation, that is causing the tiredness or fatigue or stress. So it's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it. It's not exactly the water in the glass, it is the longer you hold the water in the glass,
Mm.
that tires you and that is stressful. So I think that is also a good perspective for stress. We can move to the next slide, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. So now again, as I told you about social media posts, um, okay, thank you, Sunil Tiwari, thank you. Now next is respond to those events which deserve your attention. We have to be very, very selective about what we want to get in our life to what we want to avoid from our life. So now there is something known as minimalistic approach to life. I think many of you would know about it. It is trying to live in the minimum, you can say, with the minimum resources. So as it is mentioned here, that every situation does not require your attention. Like let's say two people are fighting on the street, you are crossing by, it probably does not need your attention. But you are walking, accident, that needs your attention. Now see, you are the same person, the people fighting or the people who have gathered are the same, but there are two different situations. One needs your attention, one does not need your attention. So this difference you have to understand. So that's a very nice quote that goes here, that do not get upset with people or situations because both are powerless without your reaction. So the less attention you pay, the that so we can move to the next slide.
Yeah.
The- just the previous.
Which one, ma'am?
We missed one slide.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. Let me check.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is it? Is this one, ma'am?
Yes, one. We'll talk about this. Now, I think everybody knows what multitasking is. Multitasking is doing many things at one time.
Hmm.
And many people earlier used to think multitasking is a very good thing, and women are very good at multitasking. They can do. It has been proved that multitasking is a myth. Basically, you are able uh, in today's life, since we have so many work engagements, multitask, and we also put extra effort to be expert. Screen just share, just is a presentation visible to everybody?
Let me check, ma'am.
No.
Yes, yes, yes. So just put the presentation back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes. So So yeah, I got a very good quote about this, that focus. Otherwise, everything in your life will become a blur. So I think all those who take photos, they understand this. That a blurred photo looks very bad. So if you are multitasking, you are working on in a blur. When you are trying to focus on one activity, then you can complete that activity properly. Even when you will see, even all the great people in the world, they have always focused on one single trait, and they
Yes.
have become, or they have
Expert.
reached where they have reached today.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Gandhi ji. So when we talk about Gandhi ji, we remember only one trait, that is non-violence. But he has
Non-violence.
worked for many other things as well. He has worked for Hindu-Muslim unity. He has worked for like uh, burning of foreign clothes and not allowing alcohol, raising the standard of village sustainability. There are so many other things that he has worked for. He has worked for the farmers. He has worked for industry workers. But when we think about Gandhiji, it's only non-violence that comes to our mind, because that was his focus. He was multitasking, but the focus was at one point, and every other thing was, let's say, it was a peripheral attachment to it. Similarly, if you talk about Nelson Mandela, it is also about fighting apartheid. He has done many other work, but when he was fighting about discrimination and and other things, apartheid was his main focus. Similarly, if you talk about, let's say, mm, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he was a very good man. He was a very good person, but everybody talks about how he just brought up the standard of the country, from being a missile man to the president of the country. So definitely we must take one aspect of our life, or one aspect of our personality. We must focus it, and we must leave this entire thinking of being to be an expert in multitasking. So that's what I feel. Now we can move to the next. Okay. Now, mindfulness and love for life. This is the most important thing. I think I would just tell, if we have understood this one slide, then the entire PPT or the entire webinar is done, because this entire one slide is the most important slide of everything. Mindfulness. What do we mean by mindfulness? Is when you are doing any activity, you be mindful about it, you be in the present, and you enjoy that activity. That is the reason why you will see there are many people who may not like to live in cities but would love to stay in villages. There are many people who, who just leave their present, famous life, and go for a very spiritual life. It is because of this, because they've understood what is the meaning of mindfulness. When you are mindful about something, you are in that situation and you love that. I would just bring a very small point of Indian culture also here. We have a small saying that whenever you eat your food, you must chew it 32 times. The reason for it is obviously biological, that once the food is broken down and is palatable, it is good for digestion. But it is also done so that you are mindful of what you are eating. Because if you are mindful of what you are eating, you will always enjoy the food, whether you are eating it in any setting. So similarly, let's say there are many people who like to watch TV or watch some program on YouTube or something and eat. But when you are mindful and you are eating, you know what you are eating. You know when you are full. You know when your body says to stop. So that mindfulness for any activity is important. And as you can see on the left hand side of the quote, mindful or mindful. So when you are not mindful, your mind is actually full of more stress, because then you are having a lot of reactions to everything. But when you are mindful and your mind is just on one track, there is very less chance of stress creeping in. So that is one very important thing. And love for life. Let whatever happen, we should always love the life that we have got, because what is very common and ordinary for you may be a dream for many. Like when I see my friends who are in the administrative service, many complained that this is not a good job. We have to handle public. We have to deal with the situations. We have to go on field visits. We have to do this work. We have to, I mean, back few years back, we were engaged in constructing toilets under Swachh Bharat mission. And I remember one of my friend told that is this the reason why I joined Odisha Administrative Service, that now I have to look after building toilets. But just see, joining the service is dream of so many persons. But again, the person who has got it may not like it after the person has got it. So it's very important to love life. It is very important to be happy for the life you are leading. So that's a very famous quote in the, I mean, in the bottom that I have. Live the life, love the life you live, and live the life you love. So I think that's a very famous quote by Bob Marley. I just loved it, so I have put it there. We can go to the next slide. Yes. Now this is again a very, very important principle, and I think back in my graduation days, since I was a psychology student, I had worked a little bit on this, but since I shifted to service, I have not done this more. But yes, I will talk about this principle, and I want everybody to participate in this, because these two things can significantly change your life. First is, so what? If you have done anything, or if something is happening to you, keep questioning, so what? Like, let's say, I'm not doing well in my job. So what? So I may be thrown out of my job. So what? So I may take some time to look for another job. Okay, so what? So I might just land up in a job which I might like or might not like. Okay, so what? And then maybe you would say, if I end up liking the job, it's okay. If I don't end up liking the job, I might get into a business or might get into something where it is where I will be self-dependent. So now we would just move maybe.
Madam, next.
So no, just 1 minute.
Yeah.
So after that, when we go on the so what, a point will come when you will feel nothing is significant in life. The most significant thing about life is to live and be happy and be peaceful. There is nothing more than that. So what is a question you should always ask yourself, because once you have, uh, overcome this, so the feeling of so what, or the fear of so what, I think everything is very easy for you. And we have a very, very common, I think we can say a proverb or a saying which people say in Hindi: दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रोग मेरे बारे में क्या कहेंगे लोग.
Low.
So once, yes, so दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा रोग मेरे बारे में क्या कहेंगे लोग. So let people say anything, just think in so what terms and just move ahead, and you will feel very happy about it, and you'll see that few things don't at all matter in life. The way you are taking it that seriously, it is not meant to be taken that seriously. And then we come to the ratio principle. So if anybody has anything to share about so what, they can do in the chat box. Now, ratio principle is again a very good thing. Now, let's say when I think about my school days, I think what were the stressors in school? Probably not doing your homework, not bringing a textbook or a notebook to class, or maybe failing in some exam, getting, let's say, 20 marks out of 100 in maths or science or whatever. But see, that was just a very short part of your life. Maybe 1 year, 5 months, 2 months. Imagine you are living for at least 70 years. Out of those 70 years, what is the value of 1 month? Or what is the value of 1 year? 1/70th part. So do you think just for that one mistake of yours, one event of yours, you should spoil your entire life? I don't think that's feasible or that is an intelligent thing to do. So instead of thinking or cursing yourself, blaming yourself that, I did this mistake, I can never move ahead, I will always feel very bad about it. Just count the ratio of duration of that mistake to the ratio of your entire life, and it will be very, very small. And you would just think, oh, okay, fine, it was a very small mistake, I can always move ahead. So this so what and ratio principle, I think, will really help. So if there's anybody who wants to share anything, they can do. Yes. multitasking. Yes. Yes, our family member concern matter a lot. Yes, that's right. Yes. What we concern about a family. Yes, that's right. Yes, it does hurt when people who are very close to us tell us something. It does hurt. But then, yes, you also have to see that whether they are telling it for your good. If somebody is telling this to bring you down or telling you to bring you actually up, that you have to see. That is very important because sometimes miscommunication is also a stressor in life. If you are misunderstanding somebody, that is again a stressor. Yes. So we can move to the next slide. I think we have
Yes.
very few slides left now, maybe
Yeah.
4. Yes. Yeah, we can move. Yes. So now this is, I think, very, very important in today's world, the pressure of being liked by all. I think that creates a lot of stress actually. How is my photo looking? How many likes I'm getting? How many views, comments, share, whatever it is there. Sorry, I'm not there on social media. I don't know much, but yes, I obviously know that there is a lot of pressure. I mean, I have seen people who go to a restaurant and before even eating their food, first they click photos and share it on their social media that this is what I'm eating today. And even if they clean their house, they'll post a photo, this is what I'm doing during COVID, which is a very general task which they would do anyway every day. But I think this pressure of being liked by everybody and this pressure of being connected to everyone and being the center of attraction, I think that creates a lot of pressure and that brings a lot of stress. We try to be different from everybody. But the point is, the entire challenge in today's world is to be the most real, not being the most different. So I think the day we realize this, that being real is more likable than being the center of attraction, I think that day you will automatically be in the center of attraction. Now, many a times when there are discussions among my school friends also, um, many a times they tell me this, why are you not on social media? You should be on Facebook and this and that. But I feel having 500 virtual friends whose you can say certification about your behavior or your life matters does not matter at all, to having very less friends who actually matter to you and to whom you matter is much important. Again, that's a view. Many people would have different views. But yes, I think social media is having a lot of control over our lives, and we should very judiciously use it and not feel very pressurized for it. So, as Sunil Tiwari says, social media is not bad, but use of overuse of social media is bad. Yes, very good. I totally agree. Social media pressure worst, peer pressure, right? Absolutely. Um, yes, life is yours, so why you bother about others' comments? So what they comment, it is mine. Absolutely, very good. Well said by Anamika Pradhan. Yes, yes, absolutely. So there's one more comment. Let me see. Yes, it is a double-edged sword. That's right. Very well said. I'm not sure if I'm missing out anybody's comment. I'm a little bad with this. Yes, jack of all trades. Yes, that's right. Uh, we want to do many things at the same time, but unable to. Yes, that's right. Yes, 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 yes. So here, I think generally everybody agrees to this fact that social media has totally captured our lives, and we feel very pressurized to portray a different image of what we actually are. So stress is not the social media. Stress is the fake image that we are trying to maintain despite the real image that we have. So again, that is one more thing. The next one, sir.
Next one.
Yes,
Next
sir.
slide,
Next
man.
slide, please.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we'll go to it.
Yeah.
Yes. So now next is lower your expectations. So that I think we had talked before also, lowering your expectations. Once you have a lot of expectations from people, then definitely you feel that, okay, this person has not acted the way I have wanted to, so better I start avoiding this person or something like that. So obviously, lowering expectation. I don't think there's much to be told here, but yes, I just loved this quote on the right hand side. Note to self: you are enough. So whenever you are trying to expect something from others, just understand you yourself are enough for everything. You don't need to expect anything. All the happiness and everything is inside you. Uh, just like I remember a famous story back in the back years I had heard about. There was a lady who every day wanted to have coffee, but she used to put sugar, coffee, milk, and she used to drink. And every morning she used to feel that the coffee I'm drinking is not as sweet as it should be. And every time she would see the sugar settling at the bottom. One day her friend visits her and tells her that why are you drinking such fika coffee? Fika matlab, it is not unsweetened or less sweetened coffee. So she says that I put coffee, I put sugar, I put milk, but I don't know why it tastes like this. Then her friend takes a spoon and she mixes the coffee and she says, now you drink it. And she says, wow, now it tastes nice. So our friend says, everything is within us. We just need to stir it. And only then we can feel the sweetness in our life. So all the happiness, all the expectations, all our, motivation to do good, everything is within ourselves. Only when we need to stir it and we need to understand it, how we can extract, the most out of it. And then we'll understand that we are enough for ourselves. Yes, sir. Next one, please.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is very, very important. Appreciate and be grateful. Everything that you have around yourself, if you start appreciating it, if you start being grateful for it, you will definitely see that you will always feel less stressed because you'll always have more things to count that you have than you do not have. I think many people ask me, what do we appreciate? You can appreciate anything. You can also appreciate that you have eyes to see because when you work with people who do not have vision, then you will know how tough it is for them to just feel the basic things that is so much natural for you, so much normal for you to see. So starting from that to having food every day, staying in a house, I think these things are also very small things, but we should appreciate because there are many, many people in the world who do not have even such little things for themselves. Then gratitude, always be grateful for what you have because once you are uh, grateful, the more things will come to you because just think of a situation. There are two children. One child you give a chocolate who does not tell thank you, who takes the chocolate and tells that this is not good, you should have given me some other chocolate. And there is another child who you give him a chocolate and he tells you thank you and he tells how happy he is that he got it from you and he's feeling so grateful. The second time you meet those children, I think you will definitely give another chocolate to the second child and not the first. So even life also acts like that. The person who is grateful for all the gifts of life receives more gifts in return than the
Yes.
person who's not grateful. So I think if anybody wants to tell something about that, can just add in the chat box. Yes, you're right, Sunil. Social media is contributing to promoting identity crisis. That's true. When you feel bad, right? 15 things you already have and is grateful. Very nice. That's a very good way. Yes, definitely. Able to see this. Don't know how much is correct. Okay. Please explain the example once because the signal is weak. Thank you. Which example do you want? I should explain again. Kindly tell me because I've spoken of two, three. I do not know which one you are indicating. Just write at least if you have heard anything. Acha, about being grateful. Okay, okay, the chocolate one. Okay. I was saying that suppose there are two children. Okay, one child A and child B, and suppose you give them one chocolate. Child A takes the chocolate from you and is actually not very happy about it. He says that, okay, but why did you get me this chocolate? Why did you get me a dairy milk? I wanted a 5 star. I
Mhm.
don't like this chocolate. Oh, but okay, I will take it. And then you give a chocolate to same chocolate to the second person, second child, and he's very happy about it, and he thanks you a lot, and he tells you that really thank you for this chocolate. I'm so grateful that you gave it to me. Now let's say you meet those two children after 2 3 days, and you have chocolate with you. Definitely you are going to skip giving it to the first one because he was not grateful. You will definitely give it to the second child because he was grateful for it. Even if you have gone through the interview of Priyanka Chopra in the Miss World interview,
Mhm.
sorry, Miss India or
Miss
Miss
India.
World, I'm little yes. So they had asked her, if you were a bar of chocolate, whom do you want that, which person do you want should have it? She told, I would want the hungriest child to have it, because a hungry child will understand the value of it, will be grateful for it. So that is why she told that I would definitely want that a hungry child should have the chocolate. Okay, so we can move to the next.
Yeah.
Yes, so again, second one is helping others. Helping others, if we can help people, will definitely feel good, and I think that is a very common thing. I think everybody knows about it. Helping others, pro-social behavior, always, you know, uplifts your mood also and uplifts your life also. So I don't think there's much to talk about this, just one line, helping others. We can go to the next, sir. Yes. Next is, this is a very nice slide. I think we all should just think about this. Jealousy.
Yes, sir, am I audible?
Yeah, it's audible.
Yes, yes. Actually, we just had a technical glitch there. Yes.
Yeah.
So this, I think this again, I'm not visible maybe.
Yeah, your video is open. Yeah, it's
Yes.
visible.
Is it visible now?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Uh, yes. So I think one more thing that is, I think this slide is very pertinent. That is, many times we feel very jealous of things happening around us, of many people achieving something, and we try to suppress that jealousy. If we try to suppress that jealousy, then I think that becomes more permanent. Rather, identify that you are jealous or identify that you're not feeling good about something, but always try to gain some insight from it. So hesitate to praise people around you. So whenever you are wanting, whenever you see some people doing good before you, always praise them, because once you appreciate things, then you will know, you will see a positive side to it, and once that assimilates in your life, and I think your life will truly transform. And I think this is again a very nice thing about stress, that at the end, remember, change is the permanent flow. So nothing is permanent, even stress is not permanent. What you are feeling stressful about today, maybe after a year or two or 10 years later, it will mean nothing. If you have fought with one of your friend today, maybe after 5 years you'll again meet, and then you both are very matured enough to take it to forget everything that has happened in the past and get along well. So what has stressed you today may not be at all stressful for you tomorrow. So I
Right.
think we should always let go of what happened. Nothing is permanent, even stress is not permanent. Next slide, sir. Yes. So life really transform when you believe that it will. So as I say that your mind is your best friend and your worst enemy as well. You change your mindset and everything will be changed. Just as the word stressed, when we spell it backwards, is desert. So what
Mhm.
gives you bitter stress, if you just change it or tweak it a bit, that will become sweet as dessert. So nothing is permanent, nothing is there forever. Everything changes. If you change your mindset, it will change little early. That's what the entire presentation was about. And now we'll move to the last slide. Yes, sir. Please, yes. So I think this is one of the most beautiful message I ever received. In the end, three things will matter the most: how well did you love, how fully did you live, and how deeply did you let go. So I think every stress in the world that you are facing, everything will end up like this: that let go, nothing is permanent. All those friends that you made, all those relationships
Mm.
that you nurtured are the ones that you're going to treasure forever. How happily you lived, how peacefully you lived, that is all that is going to matter. And how you let go of all the negativity in your life and how you forgive people, that is what is going to matter. So I think that is the entire crux of the all the life events that is having that is taking place around us, and everything that is giving us stress. So yes, sir. Now the last one we can go to. Yes, sir, the last one. Yeah. So that's the end of the presentation, everyone. Thank you. So this is what I had to present today. If there are any questions, we can just look at the chat maybe. Yes. Thank you. Anamika Pradhan says, thank you each and every person who have done a little bit favor to you. You will feel the positive energy from them. That will make you happy internally. Absolutely. Is OCD and what all you said about stress similar? No, OCD is little different. I'll come to that. Let go is the key point to manage stress. Absolutely. Kindly have a word on obsessive compulsive disorder. Surely. Vikas Anand says thank you. And thank you, ma'am. Please give your contact number. Sure, I'll share my contact number. Thank you. Sunil Tiwari says thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes. So that was the end of the presentation. We can just have a question answer session if anybody wants to ask something. Yes, Sunil Tiwari, I will definitely share my contact details with you. Yes. Yes, we are getting a lot of chats. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Kira, thank you. Yes. Uh, Krishna, thank you. Okay. R dot, I don't know who's it, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir. So, sir, I think you can just take up if there are any questions, we can just start. We can just give everybody 1 minute to,
Yeah. Yeah.
since once they analyze the, will.
Yeah. Dear participant, now this is time for you all to ask your queries, any kind of questions related to today's topic. Our guest speaker is there to answer, respond all your queries and questions. Take this opportunity to learn and you can unmute your microphone
Hello,
and you can speak to
hello,
our
sir.
guest speaker.
Yes, yes. Hello. Yes.
Yeah. Madam, thank you so much for the nice presentation.
Thank
My
you.
question is that I'm working in a bank and my manager always for each and every small things he becomes so much stressed and he
Hmm.
tries to put on us. And even
Yes.
if we behave in a different way, so he'll not going to he thinks we are not serious and he scold us. So we have to be
Yes.
behave like him only, like an stressed and mindful a lot, and
Yes.
which ultimately stressed ourselves. So what we should do in that situation? Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Akshay Agarwal. The first thing is there is something known as personality. Basically, we have generally 4 types of personality, but the major ones are A and B, type A and type B. So
Yes.
type A personality people are basically those people who have a lot of time urgency, who are always, who are always running ahead of time, who always wants everything to be, they should, perfect in everything. Is it audible? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
is it
it's audible.
audible?
Yeah, yeah, it's audible.
Yes, madam. It's sorry.
Yes. So he may be a type A personality, what I feel, and especially if you get any type A personality as a manager or as a boss, there is nothing worse than that, I can tell you. So basically, there is not much you can do about it. But yes, what you can do is, since he is very, very stringent about time, what you can do is, if he has given you any work, you can always stick to a time, or you can always tell him a time in which you can complete the work, and please try to stick to it. If you can do that work by 6 o'clock, please tell him that I can do the work by 8 o'clock, so that he does not get too stressed about it. And if you finish it before time, he will be actually happy with you. So just understand that for these people, there is no bigger thing than commitment, than timing, and being perfect. So just try to understand that whatever work you are doing, you always stay in these limits, and rest, whatever he tells you or he blames you, as I mentioned in the slide, every situation and every person is powerless without your reaction. So the more you react to it, you are going to get stressed. So you don't get stressed, don't react to everything, because everything does not deserve your attention. I am also in a job where I handle at least 300 to 400 people every day. And
Yes.
there are people who blame me for schemes that were there 20 years ago. They'll come and tell me that no officer had given us this, government is not doing anything for us. And we listen to it, but we don't pay much attention to that, because the more we react to it, the more we are going to be. So be very selective of your reacting to situation. Number one, at least since he is a type A personality, try to remember these 3 things. Dedication, commitment within the time limit, perfection, and absolute sense of work completion. So these, if you follow just these 2 3 things, I think this can be managed. Hello. Yes. Hello.
Hello. Yes,
Sir,
ma'am.
am I
Hello.
audible?
Yeah, you're not visible.
Yes. Is it visible, sir, now?
Not yet, ma'am. Your voice is audible, but your
Not.
video is not visible.
I think there's some issue then. Maybe then we'll just take it over the call then, and not the video. I don't know why the video isn't starting also.
Yeah, it may be due to network issue, network problem, no issue. Okay, but is there anyone
Yes.
interested to ask a question?
Hello, hello, ma'am. I just want to ask about obsessive compulsive disorder. Kindly tell about that.
Sorry, I'm not.
She has written in chat box, ma'am, her question, I think, about obsessive compulsive disorder. She wants to know, I think.
Yes, there was. Hello,
Yes.
sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So there was somebody who was talking about OCD. Is it the same person?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine. So see, basically OCD and stress are not the same, although we may just say that they are the same thing, or somebody may believe that it is the same. See, OCD basically is, as I want to tell it for the people who do not know of the concept, OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. That means you have a strong urge to do one thing repeatedly. Now see, I'm getting disconnected.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I now?
Yeah, oh, you're audible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So what I wanted to say is that OCD is an action and stress is a reaction. That is a major difference here. By action and reaction, I mean that in OCD, you perform an activity knowingly, deliberately, and in full awareness, and you have control over that activity. Let's say you want to clean one, let's say you want to clean something. Hello? So I think I'm losing the voice. Hello?
Yeah, you're getting
So
disconnected
I think I'm
most
losing
of the
the
time.
voice. Yes, yes. I'll do one thing, sir. I'll leave my email ID and number. I think people can just directly connect to me. I think
Yeah,
that'll be better.
that would
We can
be
take up the
better.
question.
Yeah,
There.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, because here I think there's a little issue with the internet uh,
yeah,
since it is a little remote area. So I think we can close the session. If anybody has any questions, I'll leave the, I'll just write down my email address and number so that if there is anybody who wants to connect to me,
yeah. Please, please,
can
please,
ask me questions there.
please, ma'am.
Yes, I have done this. So if anybody wants to ask any question there, they can directly contact here. It is my WhatsApp number was. Yes, sir. So I think we can close the session, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. We can close the session. Yes.
yeah. So at the end, I would like to thank ma'am for taking a beautiful session for our participants and for her most valuable time she has spent with us today. I'd like to really thank ma'am for her most valuable time, along with director of Orissa Follow-up as well as assistant director of Orissa Follow-up, and all the participants, those who have newly joined with us. I would like to thank each and everyone on behalf of Orissa Follow-up organization, and I look forward to see everyone in our forthcoming webinars. And we have a lot of plans to do informative, useful webinars for you all, because today I felt that you all are inquisitive and you do have inquisitiveness to learn a lot of things. I really feel proud of everyone. Thanks a lot, all of you.